Hey everyone, Jim D. Graham with RCGroups.com today, bringing you the RC news of the week. There's a lot of cool stuff. We have flight reviews. We have new products. We have a sale. We have a $35,000 jet crashing. What else do we have? We have Stuart from Hobby King. And we have a Perry information nugget to go over. So let's get started. Let's jump right in here and let's pick the best one here. I think this is good. Bam. Okay, so what are you looking at? You're looking at my news feature article that is not live. It's not on the site. You're seeing it first right here in the video, which will go live. Then I'll put this up, drop that in there, and bam, the news will be published. And we're going to start out with Hi-Tech, the fine folks at Hi-Tech. Hey to everyone over there. They have taken the HS45HB and the HS70MG and dropped it into the Eratix. It's a whole build on the Eratix, and then we do a little flight test. So let's jump over with one of the coolest guys in the hobby.
What's up, Hi-Tech Nation? Vance Olvera back here in the workshop with another build video. And today we're going to be taking a look at the Spectrum Eratix. 10 to 20 minutes to build the entire thing. So let's go ahead and roll that footage.
So the Eratix reminds me, it's kind of the latest iteration of flat foamies, which the first flat foamy, not the first one. We used to make these ourselves on RC Groups, and then Mike Glass started printing them. But the Shock Flyer was the first mass-produced flat foamy. And I remember someone walking into my office and saying, "We have 2,000 Shock Flyers. Can you sell them?" And sell them we did, like hotcakes, for real. And so now we have the Eratix, which is a little heavier, can be flown outside. It's just kind of an industry standard at this point for a flat foamy 3D plane that's easy to build, durable, and easy to fly. And now with the Hi-Tech servos, we have the super reliability of Hi-Tech and a whole team of folks standing behind those servos. So very cool. There's the build. Let's move straight into a little more. The thing in the news is I don't share the whole video with you. We just kind of get a little taste. And then you can go click links in the feature and deep dive, as we like to do in this hobby.
He's going to let us know what he thinks about our upgrades. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Now we're at the field. Nice video editing quality here. DX9, I actually fly DX9 myself. So we're outside. I'm curious as to what kind of wind we have out there. I can tell you having a good servo in a 3D plane is super important, because the last thing you want is your servo to slip or fail or anything, because that would be that for that. All right, let's jump back into the news. Big thanks to Hi-Tech, and hello to everybody at Hi-Tech if you're watching. Legend Hobby, always bringing out great birds. And you know what? Let's do something before we jump into this. If you go to flygiants.com, I was just on an AI search engine and I typed most active giant scale site on the web, and it's Flying Giants. And if you go to the forums right here, this is great instructional information. And our general discussion, I have a Legend Hobby top section, and in there you can find Legend Hobby information and build threads. And so currently we have a B-17 Flying Fortress build thread going on. It's very granular in nature in that we go over everything here. So even if you're not building this particular plane, I'll be talking. I'm going to get the talking machine working. If you're not building this particular plane, there are all kinds of build tips and information that you can use for building a giant scale Warbird. And if you are building this plane, this is super informational because it'll give you all the steps you need to be successful. So that's over there on Flying Giants. Hey to everyone over there. This is the Legend Hobby Old Crow 77-inch. And while the last guy we saw was the coolest guy in the hobby, Fitz may be the nicest guy in the hobby. If you don't know who Fitz is, you're about to find out. This is off his channel, so let's just jump right in.
Plane of the EPA.
It's hobby. I'll talk about the
She's up.
Well, before full throttle, too.
Engine's running just a touch rich. Should lean out in the air. Come on, baby. Lean out.
The thing jumped right off the ground, looks like a floater.
There we go.
Nice bubble top.
Get some trim in there. It didn't quite lean out. It's a little on the rich side. See if I can get it to.
Hey, who tuned this engine anyways?
Too late.
He's fired.
Oh, it is just not quite leaning out, but it's flying really good. It's good to know that, even with slightly bulky engine, it's flying really quick. That's flying. I totally forgot about the full ailerons. So we're going to give that a shot. And I tweaked the engine, so hopefully it's leaned out a bit more.
So we have a full flight review on that old Crow. You can check it out here. I also included tech details, features, and a link to the bird itself in case you were like, I must have it. And here are some photos of the plane on the ground. So there you go. Legend Hobby, 77-inch RV8, old Crow scheme. Hey to everybody over there. Hey to Mean Joe. HK, we have another flight review from our good friend Stuart. This is the V2 Flycat. And after some popular requests, they have brought this out, and Stuart's going to tell you about it, and we'll watch a little bit of this. What did I do? Let's go back in here. Okay, here we go. Whoosh. Whoosh.
Hello and welcome to hobbyking.com. My name's Stuart and I'm here today to bring you our first release of the year, and it is the Flycat V2. Now, some of the more socially savvy of you last year, towards the end of 2024, would have seen that we actually teased the Flycat V2. And even before that, we put it out there in a cheeky little survey to see if you wanted it. And a lot of you were keen to have a V2. And it's not just simply a V2 with a new scheme. It does have a new scheme over the V1. Striking, very striking scheme, I must say. Much better than the old one as well. But it has some really good and notable improvements. First of all being, you'll see that it's standing on legs now. These are retractable undercarriage. It has retracts now as standard in the V2. Now, in terms of power, it is far greatly improved over the V1. This is now a 2860 in-runner motor, which is a 2100 kV. And it...
Okay, we won't watch the whole thing. You're welcome to do so. Let's skip to the takeoff.
And then just pull up on the elevator and it rotates nicely. Look at that. And
it's on rails.
Climb out. Good on camera.
Is that it?
Look at that climb out. Lovely. I'm going to do downwind pass with the Flycat V2 with the sun coming out. You'll see this Flycat is a pussycat, but a fast one.
All right, good stuff. Big thanks to Stuart for all he does for the hobby and everyone at Hobby King. We're getting out these new airplanes just like they promised. Check it out, and the thread or the feature here, you can go check it out on RCGroups. That is a hot shot. All right, jumping back to the news. I was just on the phone this morning. I was literally making breakfast, and I got a call from Mike at Zap Robart, and he wants everyone to know he's at Perry right now. Yesterday, he was on the road. He drove through Nashville, but today he's setting up. I have pictures of this event on my phone. I could drop some in this feature, and they're just pictures of the showroom floor at one of the halls. There's many halls, and it says you can find Mike on the east side of the McGill building, and he'll give more information below. If you see Mike at the Perry and you watch this, tell him that Jim T said hey, and go check out all the other stuff. So I included information about the swap meet, event details, highlights, and the website. So if I didn't give you the right information, you can go find more information there. So hey to Zap, we appreciate everything they do there at Robart. Also, I got to thank my RC News sponsor, CNHL. We were talking about the news this week, and I said, there are other things we could work with you on. And he said, I really want to be the sponsor of the news. So they are the sponsor of the news, and they're always having deals, and I usually feature them. And so you can go here and check out the lipos. This is just a smattering of some of the lipos that are on sale right now at CNHL. From your planes to your trucks to you name it, they've got it. Go check them out. Big thanks to our sponsor. And speaking of talking to people on the phone this weekend, I was on the phone with RC Warbird Models. And look at this cool plane. I said, I don't say this to people usually, but I have never heard of your company because I've heard of almost all the companies out there because I deal with it every day, and they have not promoted themselves outside their little area in Texas. And I'm from Texas, so we hit it right off. My goal with this was just, it's kind of an introductory feature article to say, hey, here's a cool bird that you might like. And also I'm going to interview them and talk to them about their company, what they sell, how they do business, and all that good stuff. You can go to their website right here and check out all the things they carry, from warbirds from 20cc to 100cc plus, civilian birds, jets. Let's go look at the jets. So they have real deal jets here, a Sabre, a F5, F16. They also have electric birds, a lot of Dynam products on here that you can go check out. And then engines as well, which I need to feature. I need to get an engine banner going for them. So welcome to RC Warbird Models. Be sure and go check them out. Be sure and tell them you heard it from Flying Giants RCGroups. And I'm always a fan. Any company that shows up on the scene, we have to support them because we have to grow the hobby. Speaking of growing the hobby, AMA has come out with something new. It is a toolkit for the club initiative, meaning that this is a new way to attract people into the hobby and keep them there. Let's go to the link, which I put like 3 places in this article here. And you can see all the different ways: insurance, education, the community, government advocacy, events, competitions, philanthropy, and more. It's just another tool in the toolbox from the AMA to help bring people into your club, into the hobby, and out to the field. And big thanks. I talked to Rob about this. So, hey, Rob, what's happening? Peter always does cool stuff. One day when I grow up, I'm going to be as cool as Peter. I remember when Peter was a kid on RCGroups, and he would show up to electric flies with always the craziest thing. I remember one year he had not only was it a foam aircraft carrier, it actually could fly around. And then he had smaller airplanes that would land and take off on the aircraft carrier. So the ultimate scenario was the aircraft carrier would fly around while planes were taking off and landing on it in a gym. And so that was when I realized that there was something different about Peter, and he has a whole YouTube channel about being different. And if I had nothing to do all day except be creative, I could be more like Peter. That is my goal. So let's see what he's got up his sleeve this week. Got a smoke machine. Look at that. And
So what is this weird thing we built? Well, I was browsing the internet a couple days ago, and I found this weird video by Found and Explained that you should definitely check out. It is the Martin 262 Convoy Fighter. It's got a weird propeller in the middle. I've never seen a model of it built, and I don't know if this thing will actually fly, but we should definitely build it because no one's made a model of this thing, and this thing never got built in real life. So where do we start? First,
so basically, Peter comes up with a concept that is unproven. Then he takes all his multiple skill sets from you name it, he's got it in that workshop, and then he starts building and
what I'm
crashing.
doing, and I'm going to make a mistake. Look at me, I can do code. I spent about probably an hour doing this little segment here. When you use Adreno, you can comment things out and turn lines off. I don't know why I'm talking about this because probably none of you are going to build this weird complex thing, but I'm going to turn it on.
So basically, he goes through the whole thing. He tests it. He figures things out. He uses ChatGPT. I think that's the AI he uses to ask it questions how it would do it. That actually didn't work for him, by the way. Anyway, you can watch everything in the video, and I'm not going to give it away. We have the ultimate test flight here that you can go look at. So, hey to Peter. He's an awesome guy with creative mind who executes. These are all good skill sets. Scale RC Engines always coming out with something new and cool. So if you have an RC plane that needs an engine or more, and we're going to look at the or more in a minute. The new plane or the new motor is the Beardmore, 160 horsepower. He talks about some history on it, shows you a little breakdown of the pieces of the motor, and then all the airplanes that this thing would work with, fit in, and be appropriate for. But if you check out the site, Look at that. It's not even expensive. 49 bucks. You can see all the stuff he does. Machine guns, pilots, crazy engines, cool engines, all the way down to, check this out, trophies for your event. And they're extremely not expensive, $38.50. Come on. I love that they're on the site. I love that they make this stuff. And once again, just super creativity for the hobby, which is what we're all about. This is a gratuitous explosion. Now, I generally like to show things on the site. Let's see if there's a better view here of the page. There we go. Let's go here. Now, am I going to show you this explosion on the site? I'm not, because I did this the other day and the owner of the video was not happy with me. I'm not going to play around with it anymore, but it is on this feature article. So you can go in the feature article and watch this jet flying, doing great. The pilot is a really great pilot, but then evidently something happens and it results in a remarkable explosion, which is what happens when you crash a jet, which is why jets are awesome and terrible at the same time. But be sure and check it out. Once again, all of this will be in this feature article that I'm referencing here. This is the RC News of the Week. And you might be wondering, well, I want to go see this whole thread of stuff, but where can I find it? So if we go to the homepage and go to Electric Plane Talk, which I consider home base for the whole site. That's just me. Maybe it's not your home base. I will sticky this right here at the top. So I'll move the old news into my pile of RCG news. And then this will be right here at the top. Easy to find. And you can go look at it all. It's too bad that I feel reluctant to show that video after my past experience. This is from Jason Cole. This is the 2025 USA F3K team member update. The USA Team Select event took place this weekend in Florida. The competitors were facing some truly challenging conditions, and so Jason wasn't able to, what does it say? I was disappointed to miss the chance to compete for a spot, but I couldn't be more excited for the top three pilots, and that is James Hahonsi, I think I said that right, John Finch, and Frank Dumas. There's more information in a thread right here, and you can go check it out. It's one thing to be an RC pilot or an RC builder or an RC collector. It's a whole nother thing to be competitive and out there taking your skills as far as they can go and representing the U.S. Awesome stuff. Hey, I also was reached out to by the Northern Georgia Model Aviators who are having this. So this is what they have to say. I'm just going to read it because it'll say it better than I can. Before Joe Nall, before Seth, there's Mr. Pat Hartness in the TJ Cleese Triple Tree Invitational. NGMA RC invites you and your flying buddies to an exclusive week-long event at the stunning 440-acre Triple Tree Aerodrome, and they need 50 attendees. So you need to sign up, and if they get 50 attendees, then this will become a reality. What is the date? March 21st through the 28th. Ooh, and the cost is $200 per pilot, whether you're joining for a long weekend or the entire week. So go check it out. It might be right up your alley. It might be a way to really enjoy that property with, you know, kind of have a lot of things to yourself. It'd be awesome. And then finally, we're at the end of the news. Now, this isn't all the news. And in fact, we'll jump over to more news because there's always more news. There's probably news that's gone up since I've started doing this video. 3D printing was the future of the hobby. It's currently kind of the huge, the hot tip of the arrow of the hobby right now, where people are 3D printing everything from planes to jets, and in this, an EDF housing. And so we have a 3D section, and should we go look at that? Because I want to talk about our sponsor in the 3D section as well, but this is that goes over printing an EDF housing. And I guess how you do it. I mean, start to finish, right? Do I love videos where people don't talk, or do they drive me crazy? I think that I need people to talk in a video, but you know, some people don't like to talk. My son does not like to talk in videos, so I get it. Anyway, Here you can watch, learn, and figure out how to make an EDF housing with your 3D printer. So with that said, we're out of the news feature, which will go live later today. It's Friday. I've got to be done by the end of the day. And we're going to go into, let's just go File 3D. And there's 3D fuel. There's 3D printed planes. Is it in there? Let's go see. I think it is. Yes. So this is 3D printed planes. You can tell over 200,000 people care. And there's always new things going on in here. A B-52H 3D printed bomber, Messerschmitt, Hawker, Hawker Hunter, Spitfire. If you have a printer and you're curious, this is certainly the place for you. And our sponsor of the section is PCBWay. And I think their sponsorship ends this month. So if you want to go check them out, now is the time. They do all kinds of stuff. CNC 3D printing, PCB assembly, electronic design, product capabilities. They do all kinds of stuff. So much stuff that I don't even understand some of it. They have a lot of great videos out there too, so you can check out their YouTube channel. But big thanks to PCBWay for supporting the 3D section. And thanks to everyone out here that does 3D. It's just another facet of the hobby that requires skills and thinking and building, and then actually being brave enough to throw that thing in the air. It's good stuff. Before we get out of here, what do I have to say? I don't know. I literally do the whole RC show off the cuff. To some, it may be very apparent. But, you know, big thanks to all our sponsors. For real, I think some people think that ads are a nuisance on the site. Ads are what keep this site what it is. They're what allow real people to run the site, create content, moderate content. And I'm not a moderator, by the way. Just calling the site of spam and all the things that you don't like. These ads allow us to do that. I guess I'm on a PSA for why advertising on RCGroups is important. If you love the way it works, if it's something that you do every day, for me, and not only in the hobby, but in everything, if I see an ad about something I don't know about and that I'm curious about, I appreciate that because I want to go check it out. The older I get, the more I realize embracing the stuff I love is super important because, you know, you only have so much time and you better go do it, whatever it is. So the site is loaded with it. I'll give you a brief tour about how I look at the site. I always start out in general topics. Batteries, chargers, radios, servos. The radio section is always blowing up. Batteries, chargers, and then the electric plane talk is super hot. And then I did move recently 3D printed planes near the top because there's so many people in that section all the time. But that is not to be outdone by Foamy's scratch belt, which, and I will tell you this, always has had this amount of people in it for the last 20 years. And I know because I looked 20 years ago and I remember being blown away at the numbers. Electric Warbirds, where are they at? 424. So this is like right here, if you're looking at viewing, this is how many people are really in the section. It's not like how many people have been in the section all day long. It's based on 2 hours. And I think that's generous. I think it's a smaller time frame, which means if it was a larger time frame, the number would be huge. So it's a realistic gauge of who's in there right now. And then I also came up with this sidebar many years ago. And so what I try to do in the sidebar is feature things that you'll find interesting from the classified ads, hot threads, threads that people really are interested in. I have Flying Giants updates. You can go see what's happening on the other sites. Picks that people are clicking on. Sometimes that hot picks can be dangerous. So I always look at that every morning. And then I do interviews with people in the hobby, and I have a little section here where I will feature that interview. You can go check it out. Just 2 people talking about the industry. We have all our articles. I might be boring you now. And then all the news that I just talked about. So when you were like, hey, where do I go find the link about this thing that you were talking about in the video? You could look in the sidebar and it would be in this news section. Oh, and we're going to go do that too, because I said we would. And then recent reviews are up here. So the sidebar is just kind of a quick way to find things that are hot and important. So at the very top of the site, I've said it before and I'll say it again, are different sections of our online magazine. And this is the one place I generally go. This is everything that's in the magazine. So like this is brand new blog of the week, World Championship FAI F3P. So you can go check that out. And then other things that are up here that I aren't in the news right now. And also all the things that you did see in the news are here. And this is all good stuff. So I want to thank CNHL for being our RC News sponsor. Once again, you can check out their sale that they're having right now on lithium polymers. I want to thank all the sponsors of the site. I work with them all the time trying to get the news out on new products and the reviews and things like that. Super important. It really is. And I'm going to go here and say the biggest thank you of all to you, the user who watches the videos, who adds to the site, who talks about planes, who asks questions. That is the lifeblood of the site. RCGroups is, and I have been Googling this like crazy, so I can really say this, and it's true. RCGroups is the most active RC site on the internet. There's no other site that has more posts, more activity, that's updated on a regular basis, that's moderated in a way to keep it from going crazy. And the content that's on I'm really on the soapbox, y'all. The content that's on RCGroups is searchable. So if you post something here and you need to know it 5 years from now, if you have an airplane and you need to know about that 10 years from now, it's on RCGroups. That's what makes us different than all the social medias out there. We are a reliable database full of people who know what they're talking about. I'm going to stop. So big thanks to everyone. And I hope you have a great week. And watch out for RC News next time. Be sure and hit subscribe in YouTube. You know, most of the people that watch this video are not subscribed. It's always good to not only subscribe so you know about it, but it makes us have more views out in the world, which means the hobby is getting more views and we can just shine a light on the hobby, a bigger light. Yeah. All right. I'm going to upload this, put it in the story, make the story live, and RC News will be happening for the end of the week. I'm Jim T with RCGroups. Thanks everyone for your time.